Hey, I'm Tawny Newsome, and you are listening to my favorite Star Trek podcast, Greatest Trek.
My friends, the great experiment.
Starfleet Academy.
Hidden Trek.
Would you look at that?
The greatest Trek.
You people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
The greatest Trek.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast from the makers of The Greatest Generation. I'm Adam Pranica.
I'm Ben Harrison, and we are so lucky to have a guest on the show today. A guest not only on our show, but on the episode we're reviewing, Adam. It's the great Tawny Newsome. Welcome back, Tawny.
Hi. I forget that I'm in it. I was like, what do you mean a guest on the episode? Oh, right, I acted in it. I forget that part.
Did you not know you were in it because you didn't get screeners from Paramount? This was a conversation we had off mic where you were like, I'd actually like to see this episode before we review it. Is that possible? And me and Ben were like, what? How do you not have credentials for this?
Okay, in all fairness to my employment overlords, my inbox is flooded with like studio rough cut A, blah, blah, network cut B, blah, blah. Like there's 40 cuts of this episode. And I stopped, I watched the early ones because I was so excited. So my first episode of scripted television I've ever co-written. And I really wanted to see it. And then I realized like how much relied on the VFX and the not having weirdo temp music happening. And so I stopped watching and I was like, I'm waiting until the thing is dunzo. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, I don't think I have the dunzo. I need yours.
You can have my dunzo. I mean, was there a little bit in the back of your mind that was like, did they cut me out of this? Could they do that? What a terrible fear.
That time in the prosthetic makeup chair for nothing.
5.5 hours to get into that full Kardashian makeup. Wow. Yeah. No, they couldn't cut me out. I would have fought my way back in.
Is that the most loaf you've ever worn for a performance you've done?
Yeah, wait, what's loaf?
The alien prosthetic.
This stems from early in our coverage of Star Trek The Next Generation. We speculated that Michael Dorn's appliances may have been made of meatloaf.
Yeah, mine was more like a rice pudding that sort of hardened.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very silicone-y. That is definitely the most anything I've ever had on my face and body. The whole like top half of my body, which you couldn't tell because it was under costume.
How was getting it off? Like, is it
horrible? As
long or longer?
Probably about an hour and a half because you are, what they don't tell you, and me as a real skincare girly, you cannot put on any of your normal skincare. You can wash your face, pat it dry, and then no moisturizer, no nothing, because the shit has to bond to your skin. Like you're gluing this stuff to your skin. So then when that comes off at the end of in our case, nearly a 20-hour day, you have to peel it off of you. And it takes most of your skin with it.
Yeah. This is why the Koreans didn't invent Star Trek, right?
I don't know that you want that soundbite out in the world.
I'm just saying they're into skincare. I'm saying that they're very serious about skincare.
I know. It's just like whenever someone says the Koreans in such a declarative sentence, it feels weird.
Okay.
We have a great producer editor on the show. Every time Ben says something like that, it's usually edited out.
How about news?
Are there a lot of times?
Yeah, you can take this clip to your other podcasts, Tawny.
Oh, God. Would love to.
Are you allowed to be the one that takes it off of you like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho? Or is a professional in there to like slowly chisel it off to save it for tomorrow?
They do. Well, the good thing about me and our incredible crew, Brandy, who did the prosthetic, and our line producer, they made it a one day for me because they were like, hey, it sucks as an actor to have all of your scenes on one day and do all this work on one day. But I was like, no, fucking load me up. I don't want to put on that makeup ever again. But they had to help me peel it off because I couldn't just do it myself.
When you had to eat the tomato at the end, was that a stunt tomato that didn't have juice in it so that you wouldn't fuck up your face with on the bite?
Adam,
what happened there?
I wish you'd been in the lengthy production meetings I had to have about that fucking tomato.
Me too.
Do you know I had to fight to get to bite into the tomato? I wrote it. I said, it's funny to me to bite into a tomato and have a character that doesn't know much about food be like, that looks fucked up. I don't know about that. And there were so many meetings where they were like, the prosthetic, the juice of the tomato, blah, blah. I was like, I'm a middle-aged woman. I think I can bite into something without dribbling it down my chin.
Yeah.
And here's what we're going to do. We're going to film it every which way. We had different outs for the scene. We had cherry tomatoes one time. And then literally on the last one, I said to our director, Larry Tang, I go, give me one where I bite the thing, because that's the one you're going to use. And I did.
It's like a really elaborate special effects sequence that you can't reset from. Like,
Exactly.
like we got to get it in this take.
Yeah, it was like an explosion in ConAir. We could only do it once.
I'm so curious about the character of Sam, and I'm so glad that we got this episode because I've been curious about her from her introduction. And I wondered, like, how much of Sam was, like, given to you in, like, a show Bible versus how much did you get to create in the process of making this episode?
So Gaia Violo wrote the pilot, and when Alex Kurtzman asked me to join the staff, he gave me the pilot in its current form, and most of the characters were in there as is. Sam was pretty close to that. She was a little different, but she was pretty close. And I immediately loved her. I thought, like, what an opportunity to take a spin on the, like, you know, the Datas and the Spocks of our world and make her this young girl, this teenage girl, like a girl who's not even yet a teenager. She's a couple weeks old, but programmed to be a teenager. Also, what a fucked up trick by Kasq to be like, we're going to program you to be the worst time in in a girl's life. Have fun.
And then be like really hard on you about it.
Yeah. And then be like, why are you failing? It's like, because even if I was flesh born, I would be failing. Yeah. So I liked her immediately. I liked how naturally, like, funny and sweet and wide-eyed she was, especially in this, like, post-burn world where, like, the Federation is constricted. People are more, like, territorial. You've got the War College. And so to have just this literal bright light of, like, excitement and opportunity and wanting to soak it in like a sponge, to me, it felt like there was a lot of Tendi in her from Lower Decks, a lot of Tilly, and I was just like, oh, let's make this girl really just, like, delicious. So yeah, so then when we were breaking this episode, it became very clear because we kept talking about her as an emissary, and I was banging my fist on a table for about half a year, demanding that this needed to be a Cisco story along with a Sam story. Because I was like, we can't say the word emissary 40 times in this episode without addressing the greatest one in our universe.
I think that would have destroyed the fandom if...
It was really wild. I was like, I know I'm crazy about Deep Space Nine, and I'm constantly, like, trying to get us in Modern Trek to acknowledge it more and give them their flowers. But, like, there's such reverence for Mr. Brooks. And so there was this question of, like, how do we tell a Cisco story while not asking too much of him, offending him, or unintentionally leaving him out?
Right.
How direct was your interaction with him about this episode? Is this just based on previous experience with him, or was he involved even indirectly with what was happening with this episode specifically?
We definitely knew we couldn't tell the story without his blessing, without his permission. Sirach and he have a really beautiful relationship and are in contact still. And so Sirach should have an executive producer credit for this episode, because the legwork he did to communicate and to make sure all parties were comfortable and to, like, honor this incredible father figure in his life, it was amazing. I did get to finally speak to Avery on the phone, which was so unexpected. It was one night when we were all in Toronto, and me, Carice Brooks, who plays Sam, and Sirach finished filming, and it's like 10 p.m. at night Toronto time, and Sirach's phone rang, and it was just like, man, the Cisco just knows, all right? He just called us up. We're in the transpo van.
Does he have his own ringtone on Sirach's phone?
I didn't hear a ringtone.
It's the early theme from DS9 before they changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, there's too much vigor in the season 4 and later one. But yeah, he called us and was just like, I want to talk to them. And so he asked Sirach to put us both on the phone. And he did this really, like, he asked us about art and about other things we work on. He was so encouraging. I kind of, like, Sirach and I had sort of verbally given him the pitch of the episode in order to get his sort of blessing. He has to be cool with this. We can't just make this thing about him.
Right.
But yeah, and then watching him talk to Carice, he literally was passing kind of like the black Trekkie baton onto her. It was really beautiful.
Wow.
He kept saying things like, because we were like, thank you so much, the legacy, blah, blah, blah. And he was saying like, this is yours now. It's not mine anymore. It's yours. And just seeing that on her face that was like top 10 moments in my Trek life for sure.
As you're coming up with ideas for this story and, her character is so central to it, but you were only going off of the pilot basically for the background. How well did you know her before writing so much of this? Because I feel like so much of it is not just dependent on whoever the actor is who plays Sam. It's dependent on Carice Brooks playing Sam because she has very unique qualities that makes this work in a way that I think generic actor playing Sam, it wouldn't.
It really didn't change that much after she was cast. Because of the strike and everything, we had written so much before we got into casting. But what she did change was the feel and the groundedness of everything. I remember Noga and Alex telling me after they'd seen a bunch of tapes for potential Sams, they were like, Tawny, it's something to do with, because not like this character's mine, but because I had asserted early on that she be a black woman because of the way we were going to use Sirach in the episode. I was like, we got to have a black man talking to a black woman if he's going to be kind of a magical ghost person. So I was very
good call.
Yeah, I was just like, the optics of that are odd if we aren't careful about these things. So I was like, this is a great opportunity. We went into all of our roles completely like color open, a gender open. We were really, our showrunners especially saw so many different types of people for every role. But this was one role that I was like, if I have any say in here, I think it should be a black woman. So when they were auditioning people, they were like, there's something happening where like some of the auditions just feel not like grounded, or they don't like, she's too bubbly and she feels kind of like a caricature. And it was nothing on the actresses. It was almost like we needed a Carice who brought her own stamp to it to really make it like, I don't know, just beautifully strange.
That's well put, because like she's unafraid to be a weirdo.
Yeah.
In all of these ways.
It's kind of the plum role in every Star Trek series, like the Data, the Doctor, the Odo, and all of those actors have talked about this over the years. Like they're kind of the audience's proxy in a way because they're seeing everything for the first time in a way.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's so cool that Avery Brooks like saw that in her too. Like she's going to be a very powerful touch point for an entire new generation of fans. And like,
yeah,
what a cool, she's doing so great so far. Like we're having a ton of fun watching her. So,
yeah, she's great.
Maybe should we start getting into the episode and start talking about it?
Yeah. I feel like we're going to have a lot of questions as we go.
I love it.
Why not kick it off with Starfleet Academy, Season 1, Episode 5. It's called Series Acclamation Mill, or Sam's Day.
Yeah, it's a little Sam's Day, isn't it?
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
There's only ever been one me.
You know immediately that this is going to be a format break episode. And when you're proposing your episode, Tawny, like, are you right up front going like, we want to break format a little bit and get free from that and make this all about Sam in a uniquely visual way? Or is that decided like with production?
I will tell you very, very, very adamantly, that was all Alex Kurtzman. He came in with such a vision. He said, here's what you and Kirsten are going to do. First of all, Kirsten Beyer, what an incredible co-writer to be paired with for my first episode. Just truly the queen of Trek. She knows everything. She cares so deeply. She has a teen daughter of her own. Like, she's just such a warm, like, maternal presence for the franchise and for me. And she has such a history, a body of work that is flavored in such a specific way. I don't have a body of work, but I have a real loud mouth. And for Alex to be like, hey, I think this episode needs a format break. So why don't you play around with these ideas? And we were both kind of like, wait, we don't get to just write a normal episode? Everybody else just gets to be normal. This job's already hard. Why do we have to be the special one? But he really believed in it, and he was very like, I'm so glad he told us to take that risk.
Well, Sam starts this with a voiceover that makes this feel like a letter, and she's addressing it to someone and wondering if they will ever receive it. And I loved the contrast between that and her strutting down the hallway, like coming into school and then doing the obligate rewind the story. Let me give you a little context so that you know what I'm talking about. And she explains that she's this unique individual from Kasq who has been sent as an emissary to eventually be like the kind of like ultimately positioned as an ambassador between the photonics of Kasq and the organics of the rest of the galaxy. And going to school is part of how she will become that.
It felt to me very Saved by the Bell / Parker Lewis Can't Lose, when a main character can kind of affect their environment and talk directly to the camera and stuff. Like, these are my television touch points. I imagine yours are different, but like, that's what I thought of right away.
Not very. I believe I'm on record in a production meeting saying futuristic Clarissa explains it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. She's only 217 days old.
Yeah.
That surprised me. And she's getting along great with folks. I think everyone loves the feeling of, developing your friend group and coming up with the nicknames that you have for each other. It means you're in.
It means you're one of the gang.
She could vomit glitter too if she wanted, right? Like she could make it look like glitter is coming out of her mouth if she simulated the act of eating.
That was Kirsten's delightful pitch, having Darum the Kionian eat the banana that he's allergic to, that his whole species is allergic to, and then vomiting. And I said, I love this moment. I have a real thing about vomit on camera. I don't think we ever need to see it. So can we make it glitter or like shards of glass? It's space. Let's fuck it up. I don't want to see vomit. And she was like, yeah, great.
Tawny, we are exactly the opposite. There is nothing that makes me laugh more than seeing someone throw up on screen.
Wait, you want to see the actual like liquid and chunks though, you freak?
No, I mean, it's not about the liquid and chunks. I think it's just, there's something in a primal way that is very funny about it to me. I just can't help but laugh, even if it's a very dramatic scene or situation. Hilarious.
Look, comedy is subjective. I think we struck a balance with the glitter puke.
Ben, how did you feel about the glitter as someone who has famously been glitter bombed for your participation on our show?
I have a little bit of, post-traumatic stress or whatever about glitter, so I hated it, especially that it was coming at the camera.
Sure.
I felt like it was coming at me. I felt attacked personally.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so to avoid my discomfort, I made a nightmare for both of you. Good to know.
Yeah. So she gets contacted by the makers for her weekly report, and this seems to happen in sort of a suspended, like an instant of time for Sam that other people don't notice. And she's in the dining hall looking up at the kind of amorphous blob of light that is, they are eager for answers. Like, can we trust these guys? Like, what's going on? How's it going? Mm-hmm. Why are you learning music?
Yeah. Why are you on a theremin, kid?
Her makers have a very kind of Yorkshire accent like Captain Picard. Did you notice this, Ben?
Have you engaged in direct inquiries?
It's Chiwetel.
No way!
Yeah. I didn't know that until way late in the game. Alex just texted me and I was like, oh shit. It's so great.
I felt like he kind of went through a cycle of accents even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are sort of three beings. They're represented by colored lights in the script. So there's, I think, cyan, maybe red, maybe yellow. I can't remember the exact way we named them. But I think he started taking on, but they are a collective similar to the Great Link. Like we definitely drew some inspiration from the Great Link, but they have individuals that kind of come out. It'll be explored more in series, I hope, but this was just our first taste of them.
You're on Sam's side here because she's constantly made to defend her life and her choices to these beings. Mm-hmm. And they're all about, like, how can we trust these organics? How can you help us understand how we can trust these organics? And they're, like, scrutinizing and criticizing every little choice she makes in order to do that, because if any of those choices don't help them in their mission of knowing this, then what do you need to do that for?
Yeah.
It's like when I took an elective in college that didn't have anything to do with my major. Like my parents were like, what are you doing taking this class? Like it's kind of a waste.
Yeah.
Music will not help us know that we will be safe to open our world to them.
I thought it was a lot of fun that she gets done defending her choices to the makers and then immediately has to defend her choices to the theremin teacher who's like, why this, why music?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants Sam to defend her choices.
I really liked the writerly elegance of like a formless musical instrument and a formless being that is Sam. I thought that was really nicely done.
Thank you. Once again, I have to toot Alex Kurtzman's horn because in script, I believe it was a piano at first or maybe a guitar. It was a more traditional instrument. And he literally called me and said, I need you. This is like so the story of my life writing with this man is he'll call me and say, I need you to think more deeply about this. I think there's a deeper meaning in a different instrument. You're the musician. Tell me what it is. He's like, she's here. She's not there. She's she's non-corporeal. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like that. Is this weird thing? You've ever heard of a theremin? And he's like, yes, this is what you need to be doing as a Star Trek writer. Don't put piano in the script, put theremin. Alex,
have you ever seen someone play the harmonica that was like just really fucking good at it? Like honking on Bobo? Like, that's Sam.
Yeah. I was like, you know what she needs? She needs harmonica and then a jug.
Yeah.
Just
like, yeah. It's SAM instead of 3 X's on the jug.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, season 2, we'll get her on jug.
Would you look at that?
So the War College are temporarily sharing classroom space with the Academy in the aftermath of the prank war, and this gives Sam another opportunity to observe organic interactions of various kinds, conflict interactions, and also horny interactions. Mm-hmm. The burgeoning love story between Caleb and Tarima is a subject of this, and they don't love getting super duper direct questions about that.
I find most people don't.
Are you ashamed to ask for sex?
What?
Is that why you hide your desire?
Do you just walk the halls asking people this stuff?
Your interest is very obvious.
Yeah, but
most people, if they're okay talking about sex, even to their friends, they want a euphemism. They want you to dress it up a little bit. Yeah. They don't want someone to say, like, how often do you and your partner have intercourse? Your friends don't like that.
Doctor questions. That's what those sound like.
Yeah. Yeah, she has the aroma of a medicinal question.
We see a Jumja stick in this scene, and I just love seeing a Jumja stick again.
Me too. I really wanted that Jumja stick. They made a few of them. I should have grabbed one.
Personally, I can't stand them. Too sweet.
But I wanted it in there because I always think of that moment with Miles and Keiko when he's eating one and she's teasing him about somebody flirting with him. It just felt very like, ooh, this is what we eat when we kind of talk about sexy stuff.
I love that scene too. And there's something silly about seeing an adult eat one of those things.
Yes. It immediately makes him look like a little boy at a carnival, both Colomini and Sandro. And I love that vibe.
Yeah.
It is the like propeller hat of confections. Mm-hmm. So Sam is ordered by her superiors, by her bosses, to enroll in this particular course called Confronting the Unexplainable. And this is when we learn that the semester is nearly over. This would be a very late enlistment by Sam in a class. But in retrospect, Sam really appreciates this order because it changed her life forever.
She goes to the classroom where this course is taught and meets Professor Isla. How early or late into this episode did you know this character would be played by you?
Very, very late. I kind of wrote it. I mean, there's a lot of Kirsten in Isla. Kirsten kind of sculpted Isla, and then when I went in to kind of do a voice pass, which is like, make her sound a specific way, I sort of wrote her towards a friend of mine. And then truly just because of budget constraints and making sure, like, we all were so adamant that we got Sirach. We were so adamant that we needed to have some piece of Avery in this. We were, having the voice of the makers played by Chiwetel. It like suddenly became a thing of like, the only way you can have Professor Isla is if she is someone not very expensive. And so since I wrote the thing, I don't know how else to say that. Somebody's probably going to yell at me, but that's the truth. But it was truly like, there's so much going on in this episode right now. You don't get to have your friend who's starring on a HBO show right now come and play this role.
Yeah.
And it was important to Kirsten that it was somebody who understood the history. Not that to play a role in Trek, you have to like know the franchise super well. But because of who we realize Isla is, we knew the fans would want a meaningful, person playing the role. And, there's maybe debate about whether or not it should have been me, but that's what we got. So I was honored to be able to do it. I think Kirsten and I were both just so honored to be able to bring this iconic character back. Yeah, that we were like hell or high water.
How much do you know about Isla's like background? Because the Cardassian loaf, I mean, there's the reveal later that Isla is also part Trill, but like the Cardassian stuff is only it's not as pronounced as it is on a Gul Dukat, for example.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a big part of the characters in this far future version of Trek, is like a lot of the species have spent more time with each other in the interceding hundreds of years.
Yeah, well, I think what it's allowing is cross-cultural traits to be more present and more unexpected. Like we can still learn just as much about the Klingons. We can still have just as much, there's something very interesting to me about Isla being a Cardassian, because the Cardassians were, for all the other things they were such intense record keepers. And without needing to fill in all the canon in between, I love the idea that like, let's carry on one of their like more neutral or even more beautiful cultural traits of like keeping really beautiful and intense records, and have her be the one that has Anselm, the book, at the end. So yeah, I think the blending of genetic traits has allowed for a more like nuanced conversation about cultural traits as well.
Speaking of nuance across like centuries, I could swear I could hear a little bit of the Terry Farrell vocal pattern, like the little purr that she puts on some of her words.
He loved people who got into trouble for the right reasons.
Was that intentional, or am I projecting that onto your performance?
No, I definitely wanted to not sound like Mariner, first of all. And I wanted to borrow from the hosts that we knew from before. We don't know exactly what Curzon sounds like, but we know sort of his like rascally nature. We knew obviously the most about Jadzia and Ezri. So I borrowed vocal and physical traits from them. I tried to do the walking with the hands behind the back a lot that she discovered came from her previous host. So there were little things that I was like, I don't want to do like there's a bad way to do this character, which is like a weird collage. Just a weird haphazard medley of shit. But I just wanted little touches to just truly honor all the people who've been a Dax before. I'm
so glad you said that, and I'm so glad I asked the question, because I think a lot of people in Star Trek criticism find it easy to level the thing of like, well, that's just a reference and it's cheap. But like there's so much more study being done in decisions like these. Like it's a more developed character than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can feel the difference between a reference, which can be cheap and can be fun and can be a way to just get a recognition laugh, and a true like what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you honor something, when you're
homage.
Yeah, an homage, like a true like, wow, these women, Terry and Nicole played Dax for years. They put so much of themselves into that. Why would I just pick it up as though they didn't exist and be like, I'm going to do my own new thing? So much of acting is like putting your stamp on something. And I'm like, my face and body's already in this thing. Can I bring in what came before and like pay homage to that?
I mean, also like to actors who have real like powerful emotional connections to the role and the moment it it had for their lives. So like, I think just to be respectful of that is like,
yes.
How it's got to be, you know?
I mean, for me, like she and Kira are probably my two favorite characters in Trek. And it's like, it was daunting when I sort of realized that maybe the only way this was going to work is if I did it, because it was not the intention. But I was like, well, I got to step into this. I have to not be, if I was a fan watching this, I need to like honor that person watching it. So that's what I tried to do.
It felt like it, really.
It really did. So Sam is there's a bunch of like poster boards on the wall, like the threefold like science fair presentation boards of various different beloved Star Trek mysteries. I was like, oh man, Jorg Hillebrand is going to be posting his fucking ass off about the rest of these posters.
The Dianetics volcano on one of the displays. I thought a little out of place.
A little surprising. But Sam is very drawn to the one about the emissary and whatever happened to Captain Benjamin Sisko.
I need to shout out Tim Peel, who was responsible for so much of the content on those slides. He is such a Trekkie. He cares so much about Deep Space Nine, especially. And we had such delightful, exuberant, nerdy, far too long production meetings that I think a lot of other people wished we would wrap up. As he just excitedly told me about his plan for that room and also for the Cisco Museum coming up. Just so much love and care that Tim took. So big thanks.
That rules. Well, after the title, Sam sort of pitches this mystery to the rest of the gang, like, "Hey, I'm really into figuring this out. It'll be how I get into this class late." And she tells a little bit of the backstory of Ben Sisko using like a children's picture book from Bejor. I loved the illustrations. I love that Caleb is not really paying attention, because that doesn't seem like the kind of thing that Caleb would be drawn to.
It's like a picture book about space Jesus. I'm good.
Yeah.
This book also seemed to have obeyed the rules established in that we're not going to show Ben Sisko's face. We're not going to show Avery Burke's face ever, right? This was something that you understood throughout production would be a constraint. Yeah,
we made the decision. It was Sirach's idea. Shout out to Sirach Wafton, who should be a producer. He said, what if we assert that in all the years that have passed, the Bajorans have decided that he is such a revered figure that they don't show his face anywhere. And so let's respect that and make it a choice.
That's a useful line of dialogue.
Yeah.
The Prophet Muhammad was very much on my mind in that decision, because I was like, oh yeah, like I bet hundreds of years later, like he would kind of become a historical figure in that way. And because he has a religious element to like his character, like why wouldn't they have a decision like that? Like, we do it.
The edgy Academy newspaper is totally going to print a comic with Ben Sisko's face on it.
There's going to be a Bajoran fatwa put on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. To Charlie Kahebdo coming off of out of Kronos.
Damn, I can't wait to write that episode in season 7.
We need to score a lot of Latin fast.
We're licensed businessmen.
Well, there's a new ship. She's got the right name. She's got the right name. Now, you remember that, you hear?
The theory in the room is that Ben Sisko's dead, right? Like any central religious figure of a religion that started centuries ago. Like, what are we even talking about here? Like, Sam goes around the room, all of her classmates are like, yeah, what are you even worried about? He's long dead, even.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, he's dead.
I also liked Darum's perspective that, like, the uncertainty is good. Like, that helps both the people that really believe in him, and it also takes Starfleet off the hook for not, like, devoting resources to finding him or whatever. Like, it's fine. It's fine for this to be a mystery.
Yeah.
I feel like Sadal set Sam up here, though, with the whole suggestion of, like, you should go to the Bajoran Club. Does he not know who he's talking to? Does he not know how that's going to go for her?
You know, originally we had in the much longer, way longer, almost twice as long version of this script that we initially wrote, escorted her to Bajor Club. And then one of my favorite lines that got cut, I actually think we filmed it, but it got cut, is he showed up and looked at the time and went, oh shit, I just realized I'm late for Cardassian Club. Kind of messed up. They meet at the same time. So the idea is he's never actually in Bajoran Club.
Man.
But it had to go.
So Sam shows up at the club. She misses some social cues about how...
If somebody grabbed your ear, wouldn't you grab theirs back just to be polite?
For sure.
That's normal, I think. Justice for Sam.
She addresses the meditators about what she's trying to do, and this is not super well received. So badly received, in fact, that she's taken to the principal's office to talk to Chancellor Ake about why you don't walk into somebody's religious observance and tell them that you want to find their living God.
I misread the situation.
Believe me, not a fatal error.
I feel like a lot of really good educators with maybe a kid who is screwed up would take this strategy the way Ake does with Sam, which is like, look, maybe the point of this whole thing isn't to answer the central question you're going for. It's to like grow throughout the process. And that's the sort of pat on the head / butt she's given when Ake sees herself out. Oh, and one more thing. Go visit the virtual Cisco museum. That should be your next stop. See ya.
She has to go see Calric.
Calric!
Who has like a project going in his weird vault quarters where he's attempting to boil, not all of it, but a sizable chunk of the Pacific Ocean because he has guests coming.
We've argued this a little bit, Tawny. This is where he lives, right? This is his condo?
Yeah, he lives in that bank vault American Psycho loft, yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Patrick, it's so elegant. What a wonderful view.
I was wondering why he had a VHS video camera on a tripod in the corner of that place.
He does have a conversation pit, though. Those are coming back.
They're really hot.
So she's like, hey, what's with boiling the ocean? Like, entire Star Trek movies have been shot about what a bad idea that is. And he's like, oh, yeah, so I've got these this chancellor from the planet Alpharat who's coming with her eels. They need some nice bubbly ocean to hang out in. She's a brilliant military strategist, and I'm just so fucking stressed out about impressing the Alpharati and making bonds between our respective military academies.
I still haven't chosen the wine. What's this tactical prowess, a cab or a Pinot Blanc?
Calric! You're losing it!
There's a long history in Star Trek, I feel like, of the formal dinner, the formal diplomatic dinner being a disaster.
Yes.
And I really love that was part of this episode in a way that like honors that tradition. Because you may presume, if you're not a big Star Trek fan or something, that like boring diplomatic dinner is where boring politics get discussed. It never happens on Star Trek. They're always bonkers and embarrassing.
They're bonkers and embarrassing. They're a chance to learn about a new culture and learn about ourselves through that new culture. And they are cheap to produce. And me as a comedy girly in this giant episode that had so much beautiful shit going on, I was like, you know what I can control better is a B story where everybody just sits in chairs and picks up dumb utensils. That's where we can really control the jokes and the personal moments shining through. And we have Tig Notaro, who's just an absolute killer.
Good thing I'm hilarious.
Let's just contain it and just let everything come out in the dialogue, the dumb props, trying to relate to each other. And let's just let these actors shine.
You gave yourself a break, too, because it's the rehearsal and not the real thing, which means you don't have to get a real Faradi in there, in their loaf and makeup and so forth. Like, you're saving there.
I would have been in 2 loaves.
Yeah. For sure.
You would have had to have a second day in that fucking chair, Tawny.
Yeah. Slap a mustache on me.
Nothing says ritualistic meal like soup. And so soup rehearsal will be tonight.
I like that Chancellor Ake is trying to make peace with this guy. Not so much peace that she isn't above the fake out handshake, but,
pretty silly.
Some peace.
Later on, we see the virtual Benjamin Sisko Museum, and we see a number of exhibits there, including, I really love this specific choice. as a Star Trek fan, you go to a Star Trek exhibit and you see the uniforms, the screen-used uniforms displayed, and they all look like this. They don't look perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They look worn and a little like shabby, like they don't look great.
And the way they're lit is not the way they're lit for television.
Yeah.
So you like see things in them that you would never see on TV.
Yeah.
I love that Sam gets to experience that the way we all do, which is like,
Yes.
that's how big he was. Like,
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
He's a tall guy. Yep.
Yeah.
This was the scene where I was like, oh, like we are definitely not going to see Avery Brooks in this episode.
Right.
Because like no images of him in the museum, but lots of images of, you know, the Defiant and Deep Space Nine, and we get to see an orb, and Sam tries to have an orb experience. She asks the orb, like, if this is a interdimensional comm badge, can I talk to Sisko? Can he help me solve this mystery himself?
Mm-hmm.
And the orb goes dark.
The orb's also not really there.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know, this is a virtual accessing of all these things. So there's some question that I don't have the answer to of like, does it go dark because she's not organic, because she's not asking the right questions, or just because the orb isn't really the orb?
Like,
I don't know.
if she was in Nerlens, like, would the orb work?
Beignet in one hand, crawdad in the other.
She rented out a brass band that's like playing behind her.
Yes.
Which is a real thing you can do in New Orleans. You can just throw yourself a parade.
I will be in one in the next few months that I'll tell you guys about off mic.
Oh man, jealous. Or am I? Can I come?
Maybe. Let's talk about it later.
That was really polite.
Yeah, maybe.
High voice maybe means no every time. We see the family tree, the Cisco family tree, and I feel like if you clicked on any name, they would appear in the exhibit, and that's a fun idea. But when Sam clicks on Jake Sisko's name, we get a clip from a virtual Q&A that he did, and we get to see in the room Sirach Lofton playing Jake Sisko, which I was shocked by.
Really? You were shocked?
I was so delighted.
That's great.
Because for some reason, Jake Sisko.
It's me, Jake.
Like, we see him at the conventions all the time, and he does feel like one of the key people that I've been wondering if he would ever get brought back for a new Trek thing. And a very pleasant surprise. I did wonder if you guys gave any consideration to like a Hall of Presidents animatronic Jake Sisko. Like, did that enter the discussion at all? Or
Yeah, imagine how that conversation goes. Like, hey, Sirach, you can come back as Jake, but you've got to be kind of like a shitty Chuck E. Cheese Jake. Are you cool with that? Is that a good way to honor the Cisco legacy?
Related question. If Sirach doesn't want to do it, and Tony Todd were alive, was there any thought given to casting him for that?
Yeah, I think our whole thing was like, in lieu of Avery himself, the next choice is Sirach. Like, we didn't want to tell the episode with no one from the original Cisco lineage. That just felt like a little wrong, even though homages like that are done and whatever. I was like, anyone living who's willing needs to be in this. And we didn't want to recast Cisco. Yeah, so it was kind of Sirach or bust. And thankfully we're very good friends and he was on board immediately.
It's like the first of many moments that he gets to give voice to a character in response to, I feel like, and in defense of a father who I think generally is loved, but also has that shading on the edge of his character, which is like, if he's so great, he went off and left his corporeal family to go do his prophet thing, not a 100% positive feeling about him. And so I thought at like many times throughout the episode, it was Jake Sisko's character coming to defense of his father's character as a way to respond to it. I thought that was like really elegantly done.
Thank you. That was a tough needle to thread because, as I'm sure you guys know, as scholars of this thing, and most of your audience knows, Look, I think
Shut up.
No, Deep Space Nine is a sacred text. Okay, we're all nerdy scholars of it. I don't give a fuck. It's my Bible. I'm sure you and your listeners all know that at the end of the series, he was written to, as you said, leave and go be with the prophets. You know that Avery Brooks himself objected to that and said, "Don't make me in the 90s a black man that leaves his family behind, his unborn daughter. I need to tell them that I will be back." And so then part of the conundrum that has created, that was an incredible choice. I'm glad he made it. For future writers of the canon to not have addressed whether he did or not, to not have addressed anywhere in all of, let's say, Picard, whether or not Sisko popped back down to Bajor to do some shit, to just kind of have not talked about it has created a little bit of a like difficult, how do we say that this man came back in order to honor Avery's very important request, but also make logistical and logical sense that no, he likely wasn't seen. So that was like my biggest hope with this episode, is that we could have Serac say, hey, I can't prove it, but he did come back. He was there for those moments. Maybe nobody else saw him. Nobody has to believe me, but this happened. So that we can kind of have both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very hard.
The greatest trick.
With this, Sam goes back to I want to call her Professor Dax, but we'll call her Professor Ayla, and says like, okay, well, pretty optimistic that this is a solvable mystery now. Am I in? And is counseled that like, no, like you got all the facts, like you did the homework part of this, but this is unknowable, class, and like facts alone won't save you. You got to figure out like why he did what he did. Like nobody's ever been able to do that, and get to know him more personally. And so this Sam takes to the kitchen and whips up many of the Cisco family recipes for the gang. And they are loving this food. They are absolutely grinding on this. I especially love Jaden's reactions to the Cajun cooking.
My mouth is on fire.
Klingons like food that's moving. But, stuff out of the Creole kitchen of Ben Sisko's dad is gonna win anybody over.
Yeah. Worf liked his cooking.
This is a hard moment for Sam, too, because she doesn't get to enjoy or appreciate this the way her friends do.
Yeah.
Caleb sees this as an opportunity to mess with her settings. And now we're like auditioning all of the screens that you get in like an open world video game when you're making your own character. We're giving her different hair and a giant scarf and so forth. But there's potential here for both comedy and her understanding of her classmates and Sisko.
Jaden knows about the unfinished book that Jake allegedly wrote about his dad. But hard to get your hands on this book because it was never published. So they discuss maybe we should go to this cadet bar that is like some under new ownership, 700 and whatever years in the future. But there is still a bar on that piece of ground, and maybe we can go there and party and see what it was like to be a young Ben Sisko when he was at the academy. Sam has one more week to prove herself.
And like the punishment's going to be bad if she doesn't figure this out. Like the punishment is removal from the school and banishment to whatever corner of her planet photonics live who don't accomplish their missions. That part a little bit unclear, but seems dark enough in her reaction that we understand it to be a terrible thing.
Right.
These makers are not her parents in that kind of way. This is a professional mission she's on, doing professional work, and there's not like a family element between her.
There's not a family element.
But the feeling very much is, right? Like when you go off to school and you fuck up, like that energy between them felt that way to me.
Yeah, we definitely, Kirsten wrote much of the makers, and it was definitely written from a point of view of like, exactly what you were talking about. You're taking electives that don't match your major. You're wasting our money. Come home. But yeah, because she was created and assigned, I guess they're like her boss.
We cut over to where the Chancellor is helping Calric prepare for the Alfarati Seder.
Yes. Noga Landau did say, somehow you wrote the most fucked up satyr for Star Trek. I was like, yeah.
A very heavily scripted event involving lots of, probing questions. He has to be sort of like a pageant contestant the way he answers them, too.
Yeah. Very official.
But these are things that naturally happen at dinner parties through conversation with folks you've never met. But as soon as you add a structure and a rule to it, it just feels like the worst way to get to know a person.
And put a loose net in their hand and tell them to eat soup with it.
The vichyssoise fork of it all, very, very challenging. And all of the inscrutable, when do I use the little director's
megaphone
voice amplification? Yeah, megaphone. That's what I was looking for.
It's a megaphone. I just wanted Bob Picardo yelling through a megaphone.
And Tig's business with no, I'm not fucking doing that.
Perfect.
It's fucking great.
What a gift. Originally, this was just a two-hander with just Nala and Kelrick, and then they showrunners added Bob and Tig, and I just remember being like, yes, what a gift.
So the cadets are up at the bar, and Caleb's got to tune Sam up for the ability to customize her own drunkenness. And like any undercover cop in one of those movies, you got to do the coke on the table, right? If you're going undercover.
You got to do it right there.
That's what Sam does here, and jacking it up to 12.
Yeah, this one goes past 11.
It really does.
And so she's immediately shithouse drunk, and we realize that everybody from the War College is also there. And so kind of jets and sharks, they step to each other and are starting to trade barbs, but the bartender does not want set tripping this early in the evening. So she offers shots to everyone, which have always traditionally stopped people from making poor decisions in bars.
Yeah.
Sam moves on to trying to wingman for Caleb a little bit. Go talk to her, dude. She wants you to talk to her.
Has that ever worked in your life? Like a wing person giving you the nudge? I feel like if it's not coming from me, it's just going to go bad. Like a shove from behind into that social situation is so brutal.
Yeah, and maybe not better, maybe even worse. It's not even like a go talk to her, man. It's a we're all sick of watching you stare at this woman.
Yeah.
Just fucking go do it. But hey, she's a drunk little beam of light. What do you expect?
Her heart's never been broken either, and I think that's a big part of her whole deal here is she has no idea about what the downside is to confessing something to someone that you love.
Yeah.
Jaden seems to be having a slightly easier time making romantic connections. And we cut back to the sci-fi Seder where the grown-ups are not having as much fun as the kids. Calric is playing a musical number. I think Jet's description of it is that it is a lot of notes.
I think I wrote in the script a big, dumb, slow, bad flute.
Beautiful, Calric.
Well, they really took that to heart in both, prop creation and also in direction.
He really does a good job with performing the embarrassment of obligation.
Yes.
He's got to do the thing. He's got to play this stupid thing. He knows it's going to look stupid, but he's wearing it in that specific way. I definitely felt that.
Shout out to Raul Beneja, who's just such an incredible Calric. He both plays the sternness of him, but also really gets the comedy. Just such great work.
So we skip ahead because there's a lot of other stuff that we're supposed to do in this script that they're like, oh God, this will we'll all have to sit and watch Calric do this. So let's just not.
Yeah. We don't need to see him Dougie, which is inevitably what's next. Wait, now I wish I'd written the Dougie scene.
Season 2, Tawny. Season 2.
All right. I'm getting Calric to do the Dougie.
Easy, Calric.
They skip ahead to the open-hearted salute, and this is where the host has to list all the great attributes of the guests, citing the reasons they'll make great allies. Calric is in the middle of accepting these pleasantries as the fish deflates, and it seemed to me that he kind of felt like this had all just been a prank on him. None of this was real. If the fish deflated, it was all like when they all bust up laughing, he's like, "You were wasting my time. You weren't actually trying to help me. This is another over-the-top prank in the prank war."
Especially because he'd been trying so earnestly, so to then feel mocked is like, we all know that guy, you know, who's like, really lashes out when he feels embarrassed.
I definitely am not that guy, but I've seen them in places.
You sound embarrassed right now, Ben. What's going on?
No, fuck you! Fuck you, Tawny! Get off my show!
Okay, actually, you're right. That was very chill.
I'll send you the texts that I've received from Ben over the years, Donnie.
He is butthurt with Ake that she abandoned Starfleet 15 years ago and does seem genuinely like hurt by this. Like how could you walk away from something I take so seriously? And and he storms out.
Outside the bar, Tarima makes herself into the sort of sexual honeypot you'll find in bar situations, right? Like, oh, there's someone I like here. I'm going to go outside for a smoke and see if my person follows. That's what she does out there, and he follows, doesn't he? Caleb's peeled off too, and we get the first kiss in Starfleet Academy. Feels like a huge moment.
There was a little peck in episode 3. They had a little quick peck in the Mugado costume.
Right.
You don't count it?
You know, I didn't count it. Like, maybe I should have. And honestly, if I were a betting man, and I am a betting man, I would have bet sooner on the show with a bunch of cadets together mixing it up. Like, I thought the restraint to save like the big foundational kiss moment for the 5th episode.
I definitely wouldn't have bet that it would come right on the heels of him sort of implying that he's been jacking off about her a lot.
She knows, Ben. She knows.
Yeah.
And it's okay with her.
Is that what he was implying?
I mean, it seemed like it was in there, you know.
Yeah, you know, probably.
Sam is thinking a lot about Cisco and like seeing all the love in the air, specifically Cisco like walking away from everything he loved or being ripped away from everything he loved more aptly to live in the Celestial Temple, and is having like a very drunken bum out about this. Like, if you're an emissary and that's your job, and you know, she's just starting to experience this with the way she's relating with her superiors, it means you never get to do any of your own shit. You always have to do what is asked of you, and it can potentially cost you everything.
Yeah.
So why would you want to do that? And why did he want to do that?
Why would anyone want a real job with responsibilities? It sucks.
Have you ever gotten wasted and just like held your friend hostage while you, I don't know, defend the Lana Del Rey SNL performance of Blue Jeans that got her so tore up on the internet, where you're just like, it was just misogyny. She was just being weird, but she's a talented songwriter. Like that's what this speech was. It just happened to be about a maybe God prophet guy.
She's really like the whole spectrum of drunkenness that one can experience when you're really on one for a long time.
Yep.
She does go through it all here.
So let's just say I did this for science.
Trying to hook up her friends, she's getting in the way of Jaden and Kyle being like, y'all are in love. Everybody's in love. I love love. Also, they did Lana Del Rey dirty in that performance. Her in-ear monitors weren't working.
Yeah.
They party down on the dance floor. And eventually the War College cadets take exception to the situation with Jaden and one of their own being on a romantic crash course. And Sam puts herself right in the middle of this second confrontation and starts throwing hands, which is the final form of the way too drunk person in a club.
Yeah, stages of drunk.
And she specifically punches first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, bar fight just like Cisco. Let's do this.
This even breaks up the canoodle that's happening outside as Tarima and Caleb are called in as backup. And we smash cut to Dr. Mark's sick bay.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Where everybody's in a lot of trouble. And Caleb has to go like beep boop in the computer to undrunk Sam. Which I love that, like, you can undrunk, but you can't unhangover.
Yeah, right. She still needed a burrito.
It kind of seems like he has access to her in a way that isn't necessarily granted. Like, he does her a solid by turning off the drunk here, but I wonder if that's going to be a thing going forward, where they're going to be off doing a thing and he's going to turn a virtual screwdriver on her to affect her behavior.
I wonder that too.
It seems like this could be a fun introduction.
I wonder. The only time I've been coy this whole interview. That's the time I've just told you absolutely every detail. Now I'm like, I'm holding something back.
Okay.
Dr. Mark actually met Jake Sisko in his later career. Didn't know Benjamin Sisko, but knew a little bit of his son, and is like speaking about loss and the mysteries of the ages with his traditional blunt-nosed, no bedside manner approach, which is like, you just fucking move on. Like, and I mean, like, I can only imagine how hardened that perspective would get in a character that comes preloaded that way and then also went and lived for hundreds of years.
Yeah. He's like, you know how many little families I've had? Come on.
Yeah. He must have had to do that a bunch, getting over it.
Yeah.
Do you want your doctor like that, though? Like, there's another side to that where, like, he's such a professional about the losses he's endured that it's almost like that's sort of the guy you want for this specific job.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
I think so.
Someone who's not going to lose it.
Yeah.
Not a great bedside manner. Not that he's ever had one.
One of the most charming things about the doctor is how charming he can be by not trying to be charming.
For sure.
On the barf, which, Tawny, just for your benefit, is what we've coined the transport thing.
Right.
Chancellor Ake occasionally is on.
Love it.
Because Ben called me out when I called it barf. He's like, so you're saying it's Bay Area Rapid Future? And I was like, yes, that is what it is. That's why it's called the barf.
It is the barf. I mean, the BART, as someone who rode the BART a lot in my youth, there's a lot of barf on the BART.
Sure.
Yeah. One of the most horrific things I ever saw was a buddy of mine was like saying something with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, and the train hit a bump and his tongue touched the fabric seat of the BART train.
Oh my God. Oh, I just passed away.
Hey, this is related to what we're seeing in this scene. Nala Ake kind of spreads out a lot and also puts her head where butts usually go.
Yeah.
On this ride. I didn't love that.
Maybe there's no pink eye in the 32nd century. Maybe we've cured that.
Talk to the guy who writes Bill Shatner's tweets about that. Yeah, Calriga's really pissed at her about what he perceived as the wasting his time when he could have been getting ready for the Alfarati. And she's like, hey man, like, you gotta have like context for everything. That's like the whole thing with diplomacy. Like, you gotta understand the people you're talking to and like what their needs and wants and hopes are. And that was all that was, man.
Yeah, and like being so uptight doesn't do anyone favors. Like when you're an educator and a diplomat, like opening yourself up a little bit in both of those ways is going to make you better at both. And also, a better flute player.
Yeah.
You got to be loose on the flute, right?
Yeah.
Like a looser embouchure or whatever.
Yeah, looser. Less slow, less loud, less bad.
Yeah. All of those.
I really liked it because it butts right into the scene where Sam, who has gone and gotten like the most context of all time, comes to her professor and confesses that she does not feel like she can solve the mystery of what happened to the emissary of the prophets. She's bummed that like it didn't go the way she had hoped, and she's also bummed that like learning about his life has made her life feel bleak and like too controlled and not free, and being an emissary is bad. Why would anybody do this?
I mean, it's way more fun to be given a task and not have seen an example of it before that ended terribly, right? Like she went into this feeling like, cool, I'm an emissary. I think I know what that means. And I think I know what the end of it will feel like. And like to see Ben Sisko's experience go the way it did, she's like, how could that not be how all of this ends for all of us?
Yeah.
It is a huge bummer.
Have you ever started trying to like learn a new hobby or like a musical instrument? And that first like week, you're like, I am fucking Jimi Hendrix. I am so good. And then once you learn how many other ways there are to fuck up and to do a bad job and how many different styles there are, suddenly your mind expands and you go, oh, I'm nothing and I'll never be anything and I want to quit. That's like the stage she's at here, which is like, oh, there was so much I couldn't have known until I started learning. This is terrifying.
Week 2 of Banjo-Lele does not go well, Enterprise.
How many strings are on that?
Let me count.
A banjo? I thought it was 4.
A Banjo-Lele.
Oh.
Looks like there's 4. Yep.
Whoa. That's so weird. I have so many questions about it. Oof. Sounds just like I thought it would.
The greatest trek
Is yet to come.
When Isla shows the book to Sam and it's got a volcano on the cover, I wasn't expecting good things. But this is totally one of those like power of books moments here on the show. Because when she gives it to Sam and she reads it, like the words that she says out loud become Jake Sisko's words. And then he's there, like the Red Baron Pizza Man in that old commercial when you...
Red Baron Pizza Man! Oh my God.
When your pizza's done, there he is.
Oh my God. I just imagine you watching Saved by the Bell, that Red Baron ad pops in.
Yeah. And she hears exactly what she needs to about free will, basically. What Jake says is Ben Sisko chose that life and he was chosen for it. And there's like margins.
He doesn't say Ben Sisko was about that life, though, just to be clear.
No, yeah.
I mean, I might have tried.
Yeah.
At one point, he did say he keep that thing on him. He stays strapped. It was just a racket, you know. Sorry, these are all jokes. I can't wait for the fucking article that gets written about this. Like, Tawny tried to have him say.
I love this. Like, you know, there is the part that hurt and was hard, but there was also the part that I loved and was great. Is like, I mean, before we heated the mics up, we were talking about how Tawny has a new dog in her life, and I just said goodbye to a dog, and I feel like this is like a component of grief, is like looking at all of the things that you're grateful for in the context of a really deep pain about not having that person anymore. And I thought this was really beautiful, the way Jake talked about his father and what he meant to him.
Yeah. Thank you. And then I'll say thanks on Kirsten's behalf, who really drove so much of this last scene and really added her beauty to it. Yeah.
You see like the kind of pressure talked about in this scene, like in real life, like in school contexts, especially where like parents load up these expectations on their kids. Much in the same way, like being an emissary was such a pressure for Ben Sisko. Like, I wonder, like on a show full of young actors and their stories, like a young actor is often destroyed by a career path started that early. And like hearing Cirroc Lofton give voice to a lot of those feelings felt significant.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up. I think for me in this whole show, there's been a lot of meta, like Tawny trying to talk to these young actors even before we cast them, just wanting to be very protective of their experience because, yeah, so, and especially to have Cirroc do it, who has a daughter himself, and he is just he's just one of the best people I know, and he really like took Carice in his hands much in the same way that Avery Brooks took Cirroc so many times and said like, hey, I'm here for you. I got you. We're going to tell this story together. And then in the future, if you ever want to, you know, reach out to me, I'm always here. And so that warmth and that generosity of himself comes through in the character. It's just, it all becomes like this big meta thing where it's like, he's here for her in the story and in life in a way that adds to both. But yeah, I think the thing about these young actors, there's been stuff that I've wanted to say, like I kind of self-appointed, I kind of like marched into Noga's office early on and was like, you know, like the Star Trek fandom is incredible. I wouldn't be as involved with them if I didn't love them so much, but they are so passionate, so intense. And this is the first time, other than Wesley and Jake, you know, a handful of other, a very few handful. This is the first time we're going to have a majority cast of young people at the start of their careers. For many of them, this is their first big job. And that is so intense, so demanding, can really give you an identity crisis, even when people are being nice. And I'm like, we just really need to wrap our arms around them and protect them. Because it's not the same as like whatever hate they threw at Lower Decks when it came out. I'm a grown-ass woman who's had a long career, and I could like fire shots back on Twitter and be like, get out of my face.
You can out Star Trek nerd the meanest Star Trek nerd on the internet in a way that is very powerful.
Sometimes.
Can we talk about the person you punched in the face at STLV?
Yeah.
No, we can't bring that up.
Yeah, it was this snooty Vulcan. He challenged me to a baseball game later. But these young adults who we've cast, not that they aren't fully capable adults, but I was just like, we really need to protect them more. So my message to the fandom is just, more than ever with this show, consider that context when you're commenting, this is also the most online cast we've ever had. They are reading comments, they're reading Reddit. They're devouring this because they're like, oh my gosh, this is new. I want to hear how they feel about us. And so even like a flippant or like a, you know, kind of snarky comment about a character, imagine how that's hitting like a 24-year-old who's never been seen by this many people at once. So everybody just be cool. That's my message.
Yeah. I mean, having like come across some of their like TikToks and stuff, it's like, it is so intense to watch, like both the like, hey, like I got to be involved in this like amazing thing. And like, look, here's how I got in character. And here's what my makeup process looks like. And here's what it looks like to walk around the set. But then also like to see the inevitable, not my Trek guys in the comments, like it must be so intense to suddenly be involved in a franchise that has this many passionate followers, you know? Yeah.
And so many people that just have opinions on your appearance or your voice or your everything. It's wild. And thankfully all of these actors are just incredible. They're such lovely people. And I think they're going to do okay. But I feel like I want to be their bouncer, or like I want to throw some hands on their behalf.
Yeah. Yeah. Jake's pep talk to Sam is really great. She walks away with a lot of useful advice and an understanding of the Cisco, and that he never truly left, even if he like corporeally left. And she brings the book back to Professor Tawny, who reveals herself to be a Dax. And when we found out that our chancellor was a Lanthanite and that Dr. Mark was going to be in the show, it's like, you know, like if we're bringing back old characters like that are long lived, like Dax could be in the mix. And what a fun reveal.
Yeah.
So Sam goes back to playing her theremin and also like telling off her no good parents for taking exception to her signing up for the wrong electives. She hangs the phone up on them, and it's revealed that this whole thing has been a letter into the ether to Ben Sisko in a way that I think really nicely mirrors the way Caleb has been trying to reach his mom in the ether this whole time. Like an interesting thing that these two characters have in common is there's somebody out there that they feel like really strongly connected to, but don't know if they can necessarily reconnect with. And the fact that she makes eye contact with the camera at the end of this episode gave me goosebumps because it reminded me of the pale moonlight so much. And man, what a cool moment.
Thank you. That our director, Larry Tang, really did his homework. And I think it came from when I shoved the line in there, I can live with it. I was like, she's just got to say it. Like, we just have to, she's not organic. She's got a link to Cisco that isn't completely explained. That's how she knows. She makes an allusion to the Bell riots during the bar. Like, she knows things that aren't in the records. We've got to establish that. So she's got to like have some of his language somehow. And then I think Larry Tang really like did his homework on some key Deep Space Nine episodes and brought a lot of that stuff into it. So yeah, I think you were right that was being channeled.
I think you're so in this moment too, Tawny, because like I wish I could tell the fictional characters that I grew up admiring how much I appreciated them and their work, and to hear like Ben Sisko directly thanked and appreciated for being the inspirational figure that he is, and like to be a great dad, like that was really powerful. And I got to believe like really important for you as a Star Trek person to say, like as much from your mouth as Sam's.
Yeah, it was very, the whole episode mirrored Kirsten and I's, and really the whole franchise's overtures and reach outs to Avery over the years. And everyone's kind of tentative or very like delicate ways of going like, hey, Mr. Brooks, might you want to come over here? No, okay, totally get it. You know, and so the whole episode is kind of us going like, I don't know if you're going to get this message, but would you like to come speak on a panel for a Black astronaut? You know, okay, nothing, got it. So at the end, we really wanted a sign. This was really important to Kirsten. We really wanted a sign that he had heard her, which is why we got that audio recording of his poem. We needed something kind of out of time, not directly from Deep Space Nine, we needed a strange, ethereal answer that answered her kind of without answering.
Amazing.
So cool.
That's the end of the episode.
So cool to get to talk to you about it, Tawny.
Thank you. This has been such a joy. I've just been like bursting with stories from it. I guess if people are hearing this now, it's out. So I'm going to post some BTS on my Instagram and stuff, but I'm very excited.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
How do people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram, Trondy Newman. I don't mess with the other ones anymore. It's too much. But yeah, that's it. And I started talking Star Trek on my subscription site. It's been very fun to take my Is This Racist co-host, Andrew T, through Trek, because he kind of knows Trek, but not really. So we're just kind of doing little sampler platter episodes. It's called Starter Trek. It's subscription only for now, so I understand if that bums people out. But, you know, that's just how I have to stay sane.
I really like it. It's like it's themed out in a fun way. Like all the weird episodes, all the first episodes, all the I like the constraints you put on it in that way. It allows you to jump around. It's great.
Oh, thank you for listening.
She'll always bring it home.
Oh man, what an episode and what a guest.
Indeed. Tawny will be back after we read these Priority 1 messages, Adam.
Yeah, those are just for us.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Ben, we've got a Priority 1 message here of a promotional nature. It's from Anthony, Kelly Yip, and here's how that goes. 1,490 days ago, I bought a P1 for my Duolingo Twitch channel.
Whoa.
Congrats on the streak, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
The bump was real. And Anthony's talking about the greatest Trek bump.
Yes.
Come on, let's go.
But soon followed by another welcome bump.
The boy.
That wiped out 3 years of time for streaming or even sleep.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2026, the boy is in preschool and a friend asks me if I know about making YouTube videos. I lie and say yes. And now I suddenly find myself making a channel with him and Googling what be DaVinci Resolve, hoping for another bump today. Of the first kind, please. Here's the call to action from Anthony. Follow one-day discovery on YouTube for easy-to-follow travel routes and one-day itineraries in Hong Kong, China, and beyond.
Wow, cool. That sounds like a fascinating YouTube channel, even if you're not going to Hong Kong, China, and beyond. You know it's going to look great because they're using DaVinci Resolve to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, travel programming is mostly what I watch at home. It's like Rick Steves and Test Kitchen. Those are like the two main shows on in my house. So, love this.
Well, good luck with that. One Day Discovery on YouTube. Our next P1 is also of a promotional nature. It's from SP Miskowski. It goes like this. If You Knew Me. The new novel by acclaimed author and FOD SP Miskowski is out now. Parker, a frustrated writer with the heart of an old-school reporter, finds the story of a lifetime in Anne Mason, a strangely friendly woman who claims her obsession with an obscure 70s TV detective made her a killer. Or is it all in her twisted mind? Meet the scary superfan, 6-time Bram Stoker winner Lisa Morton calls my favorite villain since Hannibal Lecter.
Ooh.
Order If You Knew Me wherever you buy books. Man, so this is a twisted psychological thriller about super fandom by an FOD. If You Knew Me by SP Miskowski is available in paperback, audio, and ebook now.
Yeah, you got to check that out. The description of, what is it, strangely friendly? Tickled me because that's kind of a baseline level of paranoia or cynicism I have out in the world. Like, why are you being so friendly?
Yeah.
You're being strangely friendly to me. I love that.
Very excited to check that out. I just finished a novel. I'm looking for my next one. Maybe it's going to be If You Knew Me.
Anthony and SP got Priority 1 messages here, not knowing that this would be a very special episode of Greatest Trek. Hey, this kind of stuff can happen. The deal is, if you want the super bump that these folks got, you got to go to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron, get a Priority 1 message. You never know what's going to happen on the episode we recorded in.
Got 5 more episodes of Starfleet Academy, and then more TOS after that, I believe.
Yeah, P1s get you the bump, and they give us just a little bump in supporting the production of our show. So thanks.
You got to do the bump on the table, Adam.
It's true. Any good undercover cop will tell you. Got to do it.
We always name on an episode of Greatest Trek an Edward Larkin from every episode, and I'd love to hear. It can be somebody that was on camera, but the behind the scenes Edward Larkin is always interesting for us. Like, who was having the most fun? Who was your person in the process of making this episode?
Who was having the most fun? It might be Bob Picardo. He was eating up that damn megaphone dinner. He was eating up Sci-Fi Seder. I loved it. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Bob.
All right. I love it.
Hey, were you having fun during the creation of this episode? Like, I'm actually sincerely curious. Like, it's a ton of work and you see all of it on screen, but as the creator of something like this, did it work for you?
Yeah, I feel so lucky to get to have been part of telling this story about these incredible characters that, like you, I grew up, loving. And to be able to say all those things to Avery Brooks is so important. And then on top of it, to be able to they kind of gave me free reign with the B plot to just sort of I don't think Kirsten even touched. I think she was just go ahead, kid, do whatever weird shit you want over there. I'm going to focus on the beauty and the structure of the main plot.
I like that.
So yeah, if you told me I'd get to honor the Cisco and then also do this super bonkers kind of I think you should leave-esque dinner party in the B story, I would not have thought those two things could go together. And then have a West Side Story drunken rumble. Yeah, I think I kind of got to do everything I wanted in this. So yeah.
Well, you're the best, Tawny. Really look forward to these conversations we get to have together and hope we get to have another one down the road.
We certainly will.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for always having me and for asking such great questions. And yeah, thanks for watching the show.
And my apologies to the Koreans.
Perfect.
First time he's ever apologized for that. Real best behavior stuff there, Ben.
Well, it was so great having Tawny's Edward Larkin. And I can't say I disagree, but Adam, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you find yourself an Edward Larkin?
How could it not be Sam? Sam is 12 out of 10 as soon as Caleb gets in there with the dials. And I guess that's nothing to say of how this character is generally.
Yeah.
Just fully into whatever situation she's in at all times. Edward Larkin was a more destructive figure in his moment. Sam very much not that. But I think the feeling is very similar in a I don't know what's going to happen scene to scene with these two characters. And I think that's a pretty big quality.
It is.
In getting my nomination. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to join you on the Sam square. I considered giving it to Jaden because his little deep in the background romance was very cute to me, especially the way he danced with the other boy. But I watched a Robert Picardo interview recently where he was talking about feeling bummed that he got the Doctor when he was originally cast in Voyager because he just thought the character was kind of a jerk and wasn't going to be somebody that he enjoyed playing on a long-term basis. And then realizing over the course of time that is the part to get in a Star Trek series. And I really think that is what Sam is rapidly revealing herself to be, is like not the lead of the ensemble, if we're looking at it in a hierarchical way like that, but like one of the most important characters in the show for the access she provides to us as viewers. And she's doing a fucking phenomenal job with it. She's great.
You just brought to mind something crazy, which is like when Picardo got the role, he was like, not an old man, but he was like an adult.
Yeah.
And that how in many ways that you've described over the years, like being on Star Trek is an annuity that pays for the rest of your life. Think of how early Sam has gotten in. And as a photonic, she could have an entire life of acting roles as Sam going forward in the way that Bob Picardo has found the ability to do here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
We end every episode of Greatest Trek with a segment we call Warning Bois. This is where we go out, sometimes Bill or Wendy or Rob go out onto the internet and find what you kind folks are saying about the show and give you your flowers, express our appreciation for doing so, but also encourage other folks to do so. Go on your podcatching app and leave a nice review of the show, or go on social media and recommend the show. It's kind of the only way podcasts can find new viewers, and we really appreciate it.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy.
A warning buoy.
Ben, I got a great review here off of Apple Podcasts. Something reflective of maybe not what our show started out as, but what it's become after so many years. This one, a 5-star review off of Apple Podcasts. Ubik50, the reviewer. Headline, Best Men's Health Pod. This is the best men's health podcast out there. They do spend a bit too much time talking about Star Trek, but if you can get past that, you'll agree there's none better when it comes to men's health. You hear that, Ben? We did it!
This is like how we start to finally chip away at the manosphere and steal some of their market share.
We're pivoting! They're getting it!
Thank you for that nice 5-star review, Ubik50. That's what we pride ourselves on, as being the best men's health podcast.
Yeah.
Certainly the most important men's health podcast.
For sure.
We're not going to stop talking about Trek. We love that shit.
Yeah. But just how it relates to men's health and men's health issues.
Right. Which is why we talked about the stuff we talked about today.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we're going to put the rest of this very long recording in the hands of our intrepid producer, Wendy Pretty.
Yeah, based on your comments, Ben, I think she's got her work cut out for her.
Yeah, a lot of beeping, a lot of artful restructuring of comments. Take it away, Wendy. Thank you. Sorry.
Thanks, Wendy.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wendy Pretty. Next week, Ben and Adam will be back to cover Starfleet Academy's 6th episode. It's called Come, Let's Away. Until then, we want to thank the members who contribute monthly to help keep this show going. Setting up a membership takes just a couple of minutes at MaximumFun.org/join. And when you do it, you'll get instant access to the entire catalog of bonus content from the network. And that includes more than 70 episodes from Ben and Adam in the back catalog. Of course, memberships make this whole thing possible, so we really do appreciate your support. Thanks to Adam Ragusea for composing the theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for working on the @GreatestTrek social media pages. Go find and follow those, and be sure to use the hashtag #GreatestTrek when you post about the show. If you'd like to discuss the show with other FODs, there are some amazing fan-run communities that you can join. Go find the Facebook group, the subreddit, or join the Discord server at drunkshimoda.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Maximum Fun, a worker-owned network of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.